Welcome back, history enthusiast. Today we're diving into a topic that's as fascinating as it is misunderstood: the world's most insane scientist. Joseph Mengele, infamously known as the Angel of Death, was a German SS officer and physician who conducted inhumane experiments at Auschwitz during World War II. His work, often on twins, aimed to demonstrate the supremacy of heredity over the environment and involved gruesome procedures without anesthesia. Mengele's experiments, which included attempts to change eye color by injecting chemicals into children's eyes, were not only ethically abhorrent, but also scientifically flawed, lacking proper methodology and controls. After the war, Mengele evaded capture and died a free man, never held accountable for his atrocities. Eli Ivanovich Ivanov was a Soviet biologist with a controversial goal: to create a human-ape hybrid. Known for his expertise in artificial insemination and hybridization, Ivanov attempted to crossbreed humans with apes to prove evolutionary theories. Despite several attempts, including inseminating female chimpanzees with human sperm and planning to inseminate human females with ape sperm, his experiments failed. Ivanov's work, supported by the Soviet government, was not only ethically dubious, but also a scientific failure, ultimately leading to his downfall and arrest in 1930. Paracelsus, born Theophrastus von Hohenheim, was a Swiss physician and alchemist who lived from 1493 to 1541. Renowned for his work in toxicology and psychotherapy, Paracelsus was a pioneer in using chemicals and minerals in medicine. His name, meaning beyond Celsus, reflects his ambition to transcend the work of ancient scholars. Despite his significant contributions to treatment, including the principle of the dose makes the poison, Paracelsus was known for his contentious personality and frequent clashes with the medical establishment of his time, often leading to his alienation from academic circles. Giovani Aldini, an Italian scientist, earned the moniker of the real-life Dr. Frankenstein through his electrifying experiments. Aldini believed electricity was integral to life and could reanimate the dead. In 1803, he conducted a public demonstration on an executed criminal's body, causing the corpse's limbs to twitch with electrical currents. Although the dead did not return to life, Aldini's work was pioneering, contributing to the understanding of bioelectricity and influencing Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. Shen Kuo, a polymath of China's Song dynasty, was not just a scientist but a true Renaissance man before the Renaissance. As a mathematician, astronomer, geologist, and more, he made groundbreaking contributions across various fields. His work with the magnetic compass was vital for navigation, and his astronomical observations were ahead of his time. Shen Kuo's insights into geology, particularly regarding fossils, showcased his keen observational skills and his understanding of the natural world, making him a standout figure in the history of science. Intriguingly, Shen Kuo also documented what could be considered one of the first UFO sightings in history, describing a pear-shaped, luminous object in the sky in his book Dream Pool Essays. Tuskegee Syphilis Study. Scientists, the Tuskegee Syphilis Study is a dark chapter in medical history, where U.S. Public Health Service researchers, including Dr. Taliaferro Clark and Dr. Raymond Vonderlehr, conducted a 40-year study on African-American men without informed consent. The men were misled and denied treatment for syphilis, even after penicillin became available. The study's exposure in 1972 led to public outrage, significant changes in research ethics, and regulations in clinical trials, highlighting the importance of consent and the protection of participants in medical research. Shiro Isi. Shiro Isi, a Japanese microbiologist, led the notorious Unit 731 during World War II. His experiments on prisoners of war and civilians were horrific. involving exposure to lethal pathogens and biological weapons without anesthesia. Ishi's actions, which included vivisections and deliberate infections, were driven by a quest for biological warfare capabilities. Despite the atrocities, Ishii never faced prosecution as he traded data with the US in exchange for immunity, leaving a stain on the ethical considerations of scientific research exchange. Tycho Brahe was a Danish nobleman and an eminent astronomer in the 16th century, whose meticulous observations of the stars and planets laid the groundwork for modern astronomy. Born in 1546, Brahe was well known for his comprehensive and precise astronomical and planetary observations. Before the invention of the telescope, Brahe built some of the most advanced astronomical instruments of his time, allowing him to measure the positions of celestial bodies with unprecedented accuracy. Brahe's life was as colorful as his contributions to science were significant. He lost his nose in a sword duel with a fellow nobleman, and for the rest of his life wore a prosthetic replacement made of an alloy of gold and silver. He maintained a lavish lifestyle, complete with a clairvoyant dwarf named Yep and a pet elk. Brahe's observatory, Uraniborg, was an epicenter of scientific research and was considered the first research institute. One of Brahe's most notable contributions was his detailed observation of a supernova in 1572, which challenged the prevailing Aristotelian belief in the unchangeability of the celestial realm. He also observed a comet in 1577, proving that it traveled beyond the Earth's atmosphere, which was contrary to the common belief that comets were atmospheric phenomena. Brahe's data collection was so precise that it later enabled his assistant, Johannes Kepler, to derive the three laws of planetary motion, which effectively began the Copernican revolution. Despite his significant contributions, Brahe's adherence to a geoheliocentric system where the Sun and Moon orbited the Earth, but other planets orbited the Sun, showed the difficulty of shifting paradigms even among the most brilliant minds. His death in 1601 was as enigmatic as his life. For centuries, it was rumored that he died from a bladder infection after courteously refraining from leaving a banquet to relieve himself. However, later forensic analyses suggested he may have succumbed to mercury poisoning, though whether this was due to exposure during his alchemical experiments or possible foul play remains a subject of debate. Tycho Brahe's legacy is a testament to the transformative power of observation, the importance of accurate data, and the rich tapestry of personal eccentricities that often accompany genius. Fritz Haber's life and work present a stark example of the ethical complexities surrounding scientific innovation. Born on December 9, 1868, in Breslau, Prussia, now Wrocław, Poland, Haber was a chemist who fundamentally changed both agriculture and military technology. His synthesis of ammonia from nitrogen and hydrogen gas, known as the Haber-Bosch process, was a breakthrough that allowed for the mass production of nitrogen fertilizers, significantly boosting agricultural yield and supporting global population growth. However, Haber's scientific genius also had a darker side. During World War I, he applied his expertise to chemical warfare, developing poison gases used in trench warfare. His work on chlorine and other gases remains a controversial aspect of his legacy, as it led to the suffering and deaths of thousands of soldiers and contravened ethical standards of warfare. Despite the controversy, Haber was awarded the Nobel Prize in Chemistry in 1918 for his ammonia synthesis, which was seen as an outstanding contribution to humanity. Yet, his involvement in chemical warfare overshadowed his scientific achievements in many eyes. Haber's patriotism and belief in serving his country led him to justify the use of chemical weapons as a necessary means in war, a stance that has been widely criticized. Haber's personal life was marred by tragedy. His first wife, Clara Imova, also a chemist, was an outspoken critic of his work on chemical warfare and took her own life in 1915, partly in response to his involvement in the gas attacks. Haber's relationship with his second wife, Charlotte Nathan, also divorced. After World War I, Haber sought to extract gold from seawater to help pay Germany's war reparations. But this venture was unsuccessful. His later years were troubled by the rise of the Nazi Party, which rejected Haber for his Jewish heritage despite his conversion to Christianity. He died in exile in 1934, en route to Palestine, leaving behind a legacy that is still debated for its impacts on both food security and the ethics of scientific practice. Which of these scientists surprised you most? Let us know in the comments below. If you liked this story, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Together we can make the world a kinder and fairer place. Thank you for watching. Until next time.